Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to another episode on Off on Tangents. Jake and I just want to say it's been a great pleasure giving great content to you guys, and we hope to bring more in the future. If you have any suggestions regarding any topics, issues that we should discuss, please let us know on our page.
We now finally have a Spotify account, so if you want to check that out, it's Off on Tangents in Spotify. And make sure if you like the content, leave a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also like our Facebook and Instagram channels too. Thanks guys.
Peace.
Good afternoon guys, and welcome to another episode of Off on Tangents, episode 4. I'm Daniel Pompey. My co-host here, Jake Clifton. Jakey boy, how are you? What's been going on?
Not too bad, bro. I've been out on a diving course today, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty salty now. Not salty like last week, but yeah. So I'm doing well though.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Yeah, had a pretty good week at work. Yeah, it wasn't too bad actually. I get to see the Harbour Bridge every night, so which is great. Yeah, but let's kick things off, guys. Just to recap, we were talking about the All-Star game last week, and in this episode we are going to talk about how it went, how the new format was in relation to what the fans think, what the players were thinking as well. We'll also talk about the second half of the NBA season, which is getting into crunch time now for a lot of NBA teams out there who need a push for a playoff spot, but also teams that are, that need a little tweak to ensure they get deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, so the contenders of
exactly
the,
right,
of the
contenders. So yeah, we have a lot of topics to discuss. We'll even talk about Kanye in our hip hop segment.
Yeah,
he's our rapper of the week. So I think this is going to be like a trend day. We're going to have a rapper of the week, or we'll talk about a rapper each week, I suppose. And Kanye West is our yeah.
I think we originally were going to talk about the gigs that we're going to see, but there's not enough gigs to cover every week. So we got to start introducing rapper of the week, which is cool, I reckon.
Yeah, well, let's kick it off. The 2020 NBA All-Star Game, Jake. You were right in your prediction. For those that don't know, Jake made the prediction that Team LeBron was going to win the All-Star Game. I went with Giannis, but yeah, we'll talk about the format and how did you like it, especially with the whole quarters. Winning quarters. Start it off.
Well, basically, for the viewers that don't usually watch the All-Star game, this was the first year that they've introduced a new format to it. I think they've been trying to increase the competitiveness for a while, and just make it more interesting for the fans, because it sometimes feels a bit boring. But they started doing a 4-quarter system. So the first 3 quarters are just, they play for the winner of each quarter, gives some money to charity. And then the final quarter, what they did this year was in honor of Kobe, they added the 3-quarter scores for each team. And then the team with the highest scores from the first 3 quarters, they added 24 points onto that and made it a score that you want to reach to win the game.
Correct.
So it's sort of, again, what we were talking about last week was how the selection of the players makes it like schoolball almost, but this even again to me feels more like street ball, where you've got like a goal you want to reach, rather than just a time limit. So that was the new format that was introduced this year, and I was intrigued by it. At least it was interesting to watch, because it gets pretty boring just having the same old thing. So it felt in that final quarter, it felt like everyone wanted to win that game.
Yeah, it was very intense, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was and I suppose that's what people want to see. They want to see intensity in the All-Star game. I mean, we know it's not serious. It's not a serious thing, but we also want to see the best players in the world who are come together on one night and see the best quality basketball played. And I feel like we got that. We did get
Definitely,
that.
Yeah. More than usual.
Yeah, more than usual. And I personally think that I hope this trend continues. Yeah, definitely.
Or at least that, like, even if it's not the same format next year, at least continue on this trend of making it interesting each year. Yeah. Try new things every year.
Yeah.
Because it is something that made it more enjoyable for me, at least.
What was a highlight? What was a highlight for you? Like even a single play.
Oh,
was there?
When CP got a dunk off the alley-oop. That to me was a pretty big highlight.
Yeah, seeing a 35.
I don't think anyone was expecting him to be able to dunk still, so I was shocked by that.
I mean, he's only 6 foot as well. Wow, that's crazy. But
but there was a few plays from Ben Simmons as well. I was watching him like, wow.
Yeah, he was.
It was tailored for him that game. There was a few putback. There was one where I think it was the Joker or someone.
Yep.
Someone threw it over their head. They got a steal and he just throws it over his head to Ben Simmons and he slams it down.
Yeah.
So there was some good highlights in there.
Yeah. Oh well, I remember. My highlight of the game was when Joel Embiid was in the post in the fourth quarter, and he pulls out this spin move, and LeBron was defending him, and LeBron just like didn't know where he was on skates.
He's like,
where's the ball? And he does a turnaround fadeaway, and I was just like, oh my god, like whoa. And we should see more of that from Joel in the post. That's where he belongs.
Sure.
But like all things aside, that's a bit off topic, off tangent. But
if we were going off on that tangent just briefly, he showed that in the game yesterday against Brooklyn. He just took over in the post. He got some nice blocks in towards the end.
Yeah. 37 points he scored in that
39,
game? 39. Wow. Okay.
So, but back to what you were saying about the highlights of the All-Star game. It's just sort of hard to pick one, isn't it? Because it's just a highlight after highlight in that game.
It was very intense. I like the fact that it was very playoff. Oh, not playoff, but like very pickup style. Sort of basketball, especially with adding the 24 points in the final quarter.
Sort of felt like playoffs though. Yeah, it felt to me like they wanted to win that game more than any other game, you know.
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about the notable players. You alluded to CP3. He had a great game in the All-Star game. I suppose he's like a Kobe Bryant's type of competitor. Like he's a very intense guy, and you know, because like he's always had dummy spits with teammates in the past as well.
He's clearly he can be mistaken in that
exactly way. But he's brought up in that old school sort of style. Did you want to talk about his All-Star experience?
I think other than that dunk that I mentioned, he was just everywhere on the day. He was hitting threes every time he got the ball almost. I think he just came out and sort of, he wasn't one of the guys that I was thinking when he was picked on LeBron's team. I was looking at when I selected LeBron to win, I was looking at the starters, and I didn't look at the reserves and think, CP's the standout guy here, but he came out and stood up, and he made his presence well felt, to the point where they played him in the fourth quarter for most of the fourth, if not the whole fourth. I'm pretty sure he played the whole fourth quarter because of his defense, that intensity that he brought on D. So he sort of surprised me in that way. He came out at, how old is he now?
He's 35 now,
and he came out with all these young all-stars and made himself a shining star.
Well, for those that don't know, that was Chris CP3's 10th All-Star appearance, which is like, you know, if you're 10 All-Stars is pretty pretty good milestone. His stats for the night were 20, he played 26 minutes, 23 scored 23 points, 6 assists and 2 rebounds, which is pretty good. Like he's known for his defense, which is exceptional. Congratulations CP3 on your 10th All-Star appearance. It's well deserved, especially
definitely well deserved.
Yeah, exactly. The other player is Kawhi Leonard. Obviously, the claw was great. He was hitting a lot of threes. I think he scored like 8 out of 9 threes or something.
He turned into a sniper, man.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa. And Kawhi's three. He's a pretty good 3-point shooter. I remember in one season with the Spurs, he was hitting them at 44%. Which is pretty good. I mean, the league average is about 36% when he was hitting. This year, he's hitting them at about 37%, but definitely a well-deserved All-Star MVP. And it was the first inaugural Kobe Bryant Award as well.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts about Kawhi? Did you think anyone else deserved it, or?
I would have argued about Chris Paul deserving it as the only other person, but definitely Kawhi Leonard was. Yeah, he was pretty unstoppable in that game. Every time the ball went out to him on 3-point, he just drilled it. The funny thing about Kawhi's shot, it looks so flat as it's going. Most 3-point shooters shoot with such a high arc. Yeah, and he just shoots it, so he just drills it directly at the hoop, and it just goes in. So I definitely wouldn't argue against Kawhi. He was pretty outstanding on the night.
The claw was the highest point scorer of the night, 30 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. So, well-deserved, Kawhi. That was your 4th All-Star appearance. I'm pretty sure many more to come. He's only 28.
I'm actually surprised that there's only been 4, but I was thinking he missed out not last year, the year before, like 2 years or so with an injury, didn't he? So he could have up to 6 by now. So.
Yeah, thigh bruise, which that breaks my heart because I'm a big Spurs fan for everyone out there, and it hurt me so bad to see him leave, but it is what it is. He's back home now where he belongs, and he wants to be in LA. So good on him for his 4th All-Star appearance.
I do have to say as well, I was pretty happy with Ben Simmons in this game.
Okay, yeah.
It did feel sort of tailored to his style of game, but I enjoyed watching him go off, and but like on the other side of things, you got Team Giannis. Were there any people in that team that were pretty stand out to you, or?
Well, I mean, Joel. I love the way Joel played. He just looks so good in the post. Like every player saw him in the post. It was in the 4th quarter. He just looks so at home.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going off topic again. He should be in the post. Like I don't care what any 3-point analysts, all the analysts say today. Like you got to shoot threes. Yeah, cool. But big men, they belong in the post. Like,
he's too inconsistent from 3.
Exactly.
He can hit them, but sometimes it's either on or off, and you're just like, stop shooting threes.
Just get in the paint. Like, be a dog.
Be Shaq.
Yeah, be like
Shaq.
Shaq and just be a dog, man. And just get them rebounds and just dunk it over people. That's what I like to see. I'm pretty old school.
But man, that's what I it is see, sometimes weird with Joel how he could be just dominating people. Like, I like to see people dominate in the paint. I'm sick of seeing just 3-point shots. Why not stick to your strength and just dominate? Like he seems to turn up some games and just absolutely, and he's like, I'm not going to lose this game, and just dominate. And then other games is just sort of sore back or whatever. He's just not there. He's not invested or something. I don't know what it is. Yeah. It's weird.
Anyway, we'll wrap the All-Star talk up. Great All-Star game, but we'll talk about the serious side now. We are heading into the second half of the NBA season after the All-Star break, and this is where like teams have already made their moves after the trade deadline, and and they pretty much just tweak their pieces, form their final roster before heading into the playoffs. We're about 8 weeks now to the playoffs, and we're going to just talk about the contenders and in the East and West, and also who's in the contention to make the 8th spot in each conference. So we'll talk about the Western Conference first. We note here the
good conference.
Yeah, the good the better conference, I suppose. The Lakers and Clippers are clearly the two front runners in the West. Jake, let's talk about their rivalry in terms of, who's the front runner here. Now, I note that Markieff Morris is going to sign with the Lakers as well. They have waived, they have waived DeMarcus Cousins for room to sign Markieff Morris. Now, there's going to be a bit of rivalry there, but both the Morris twins now are in LA, will be in LA. So
damn, I'm actually sad to hear that for DeMarcus Cousins, to be honest. I was hearing rumors that he could have been ready for the playoffs. Yeah. So
no, they plan to waive DeMarcus Cousins to make way for Markieff Morris. Now, I think that's a great sign.
Who's the better one of the two? Who's the better, Markieff or?
Well, I think Marcus. Definitely. His 3-point percentage is.
Yeah.
And that's what the Clippers need, is a good 3-point shooter and someone who can play defense, and he can do that.
Yeah.
Markieff, he's been okay for, I think it's Detroit, so he's been okay, but
Marcus has definitely been on some more relevant teams.
Yeah, and he's had more playoff experience as well. So,
and he was tearing it up this year he was tearing it up for the Knicks before he got traded to the Clippers. So yeah, I mean, the Lakers at the moment, it does sort of feel like the Clippers are starting to take over in this race.
Yeah.
So I've been pretty adamant on Lakers being the better team, but as long as Paul George stays healthy or gets healthy, they should ideally be the best team in the West. But it does feel like they're making all the moves to prevent, almost like they're trying to just one up the Lakers each time.
Yeah.
They've got this mission in mind to be the top team, and I think that for them that means beating the Lakers specifically. They're not too worried about many other teams. They just seem to be wanting to take people that are coming Lakers' way.
Yeah. Who do you think is the front runner? Like, who do you think edges it out before we get into the playoffs here?
I think, assuming that Paul George is healthy by the time, like, he's just not had a good year in terms of health. So I don't think we've seen the Clippers at full force yet. I think they've sort of been, you either get Paul George or you get Kawhi Leonard on most given nights. You don't get both of them very often. The signing of Marcus Morris was a big one to me, to be like, oh, I was a little bit nervous after hearing that. And then I even was hearing, sort of rumors of buyouts with Reggie Jackson for the Lakers, and then even he signs. He ended up signing with the Clippers. So I don't know really how much of a difference Reggie Jackson's going to make at this point in time, but it just sort of feels like the Clippers are just one-upping him in every way they can. Lakers need a point guard. Oh, we're just going to take Reggie Jackson from you.
Yeah.
So it's starting to feel like, it's sort of feeling like now, where are the Lakers to go from here?
Yep.
And as you just say now, they're signing Markieff Morris, and to me, there's sort of this air of desperation for the Lakers now because the Clippers have made so many moves. So that makes me a little bit nervous for the Lakers. But when we're talking about front runners in the West, I feel like we're missing out with, when we're just looking at the LA Clippers and the LA Lakers, the two LA teams. We're sort of forgetting about so many teams that could come through and take it out, because they're all good teams in the West. And I think especially Houston Rockets, for all we know, could come through and knock out the Lakers before we even get to see Clippers play. And that I honestly am starting to think that maybe it was a good idea what they did with the change up to having what's his name, the center now for Tucker, PJ Tucker.
Oh, PJ.
So like they've gone small, and by all accounts so far, it's looking like they could be a pretty dangerous team with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like I still want to say Lakers are the front runner for me, but it's starting to get murky in my opinion. It's starting to feel like Clippers are pulling away with all the signings they're making.
Yeah.
It's just not really showing much in the actual games that we're seeing. They're still not winning games.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, let's talk about those second tier teams like you alluded to: Houston Rockets, Utah Jazz, Denver Nuggets. They may cause
havoc.
Yeah, havoc, or they're the dark horses, I suppose.
Yeah.
You alluded to Houston Rockets. Talk about whether CP3 was a big loss, or because I look at OKC, they're right behind the Rockets.
Yeah,
they're like a game and a half behind the Rockets, and do you think that was a good move by Houston, taking or trading away CP3?
Honestly, I didn't really like the move from the beginning. When it happened, I was like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
And I still don't like it now. When I look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're playing way better than anyone expected. I don't know how much you can attribute just to CP3, but I think he's making a big difference in their locker room. He's being a leader that they need.
Exactly.
Not to say that Russell wasn't a leader, but I just look at Houston and I think CP3 fits way better into their style of play than Russell Westbrook. Russell's the type of guy he's ball dominant.
Yep.
So is James Harden. So that was weird for me that you get two ball dominant guys. I feel like CP3 was more happy to defer to Harden and let him take over when he needed to. And not only that, but the whole style of Houston is moving towards everyone needs to be 3-point shooters. They even got rid of their center for that reason.
Yep.
So to me, I'm thinking, what are you doing when you pick up a guy who's notoriously inconsistent from three?
Yeah.
And he at the start of the season, it looked like he was just going to try and fit into the system and shoot threes, and it was looking pretty bad. But I think they've sort of worked out now how to slot Russell Westbrook in, and he's not shooting many threes. He's dishing it out to 3-point shooters when he drives in and he draws some defenders, but he's also, I think they're allowing him to sort of play his game and take the twos.
Yep.
But it feels like they're straying a little bit with Russell. He may be more athletic, maybe younger.
Yep.
And maybe brings it more. Well, I don't even know if he brings it more on the defensive side, because Chris Paul is a great defender.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not convinced by the move. I'm sitting there thinking, if James Harden and Chris Paul could have worked out their relationship, they were one game away from the finals 2 years ago. That team that beat them, and shouldn't have beat them, is now gone.
Yeah.
And wouldn't this be the perfect chance for them to come through? And they've had the best record in the Western Conference for the past 2 years, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it was the year before.
Or they were second last year.
Yeah.
But either way, they're fifth now. They've been second and first. I don't know if that's just because the Los Angeles Lakers and the Clippers got way better.
Yeah.
But Denver didn't get much better, and they're still coming second in the comp. So, yeah.
Okay. What about Denver and Utah? Do you like their chances? I mean, with the Joker leading that team, I feel like they're still inexperienced. And Utah did make some moves in the offseason, acquiring Mike Conley, which is a great pickup. Mike Conley is one of the most underrated players in the NBA, and that was a great pickup. And you can see in their play that he's the floor general over there. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell carries that team, but and Rudy Gobert is that anchor on defense, which is great. He's still playing he's the reigning defensive player of the year. But Mike Conley just gives him that playoff experience. He's like CP3, giving him that being
Leader
that teacher, father figure. So,
well, they also picked up, is it Bogdanovic?
Yeah. Bogdanovic
so
for the Pacers. Yeah,
even that was a pretty
great
excellent
addition.
move.
Yeah.
Like,
Great
I think,
3-point shooter.
Yeah, I was looking at where he was going to end up in the off season, and I wasn't pinning Utah, but they literally took him from all these other teams, and I think that was a pretty good move. So I would say that I like Utah better than Denver for sure. I find it a little bit hard to see anyone other than the Houston Rockets being the dark horse in the West.
Okay.
I mean, when you look at the teams, Dallas Mavericks are a great team as well. But as you said with Denver, they're probably a bit too young. They started off the season really strong, and then every time Luka gets injured or something, they just they're just dropping down. So yeah, I obviously see Lakers and Clippers as front runners, but I think Houston are probably going to be harder than they think, and Utah Jazz might just come through and shock everyone for all we know. They've been there a few times.
Yep.
And they've just improved on their roster, so
okay.
Yeah.
Finally, before we go to the Eastern Conference, who's going to take the 8th seed in the West? Just off the top.
I'd say, looking at it, I really want Portland to make it in there.
Okay, Portland. Fair enough.
But yeah, I don't see Grizzlies falling off a cliff and letting them get there.
No. The contenders: Memphis, Portland, San Antonio, 8, 9, 10th seeds. I agree with you. Memphis, I think they'll take that 8 seed, which is great because they've had a few years. Not being in the playoffs since like the Marcus Sol days and Mike Conley days. So hopefully, I want Memphis to get in as well. Sorry. We'll head off to the East now. So obviously the clear front runner here is the Milwaukee Bucks. They're not even in double digits on the loss column.
Crazy.
Have a 86% win percentage, which is quite amazing. But obviously Milwaukee are the clear favourites, and then you have the second tier teams. Like, what I mean by second tier is like there's always a clear front runner, and then the teams that will make deep runs in playoffs. And I'm talking Toronto, Boston, Philly, and the dark horse for me is definitely Miami. So Jake, talk to us. Who do you think will sort of collapse the castle in Milwaukee? Who do you think will has a shooter's chance of being Milwaukee?
It's honestly hard to say anyone at this point. I didn't see anyone beating him last year, and I was shocked when Raptors came back from that 2-0 deficit and just pumped them 4-0 from that point. But
can I stop you there, Jake? Last year, I just want to, for the people,
don't do it.
We were watching the game at Jake's house here, and it was game 2 of this series, and the Raptors just got absolutely pelted. Like, it was an annihilation. I can't remember the score, and Jake was like, sucked in. The Bucks are gonna win it, and I said, you know what?
I was not even saying that. I was saying they were gonna sweep it.
They're gonna sweep it, and I said the most outrageous thing. I didn't even believe it I didn't even believe myself when I said it. But I said the Raptors are gonna win the next 4 straight. They're gonna gentlemen sweep the Bucks, and then it turns out what happened, Jake?
Well, yeah, I can vouch for that. You definitely said it. And
actually,
and I was laughing at you when you said it. Like, there's no way, bro.
we actually made a bet, $20. That because Jake did not believe me at all. But he actually did pay up. So turns out Toronto won the final. So, but I just wanted to say that just on the record.
That was pretty crazy. I was like, when I made that $20 bet, let me just say I was pretty cushy with it. Was like the JRD bet when we bet about Ed and Eddie. I was like, he's definitely playing that. Just like I was like, they're definitely winning this series. But nah. So insane. So that actually pretty much raises a good point, which was that they looked so strong last year as well, and it didn't look like there was going to be any team that could rise to the occasion, but they still managed to lose it. So it is anyone's game. If I was going to pick one team at this point to to give them the roughest time. I don't really like the Toronto Raptors. I know you like the Raptors, but I feel like they're just lacking some star power in a way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Boston Celtics are the team that I think will be the hardest one to beat for the Bucks this year. Like that I'm a Philly fan, so I'd love to say Philly, but it's been harder and harder and harder throughout this season to keep your hopes up with those guys.
Well, I honestly still think Philly are going to meet the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Because, and let me tell you why, Jake. Only because the playoff format is going to be 2-2, 1-1-1. Yeah, 7-game playoff series, or up to 7 games, and it's different, obviously, to the regular season. If Philly win their 2 games at home, which they have an impeccable record,
they do.
Their record at home is 26-2, which is out of this world. All they need to do is just win 1 on the road, right?
Yeah.
They win 1 on the road. That's 3 games.
Bro, you know what's funny? Lachlan was having this argument yesterday, and that's exactly what he said to me.
They just need to win 1 game on the road,
definitely,
that's their.
But is that easier said than done? That's the thing.
Oh, it is, but
because look at their away record. If you look at their road record is shocking. 9-19, bro.
You can, because you're right. If the other team. If the home team for whoever they play wins both their games, the pressure's back on Philly to win at home as well.
Sure.
So you can look at it both ways.
But you also, if you look at the standings where they are now, if they want to come against Bucks in the final round, they pretty much they need to get to 3rd seed at the very least.
Yeah, you're right.
And they're not. To me, they're not even close to making it to 3rd seed. I cannot see a situation where they make 3rd. I see a situation at best making 4th seed. But Boston's too strong to just start losing games all of a sudden. So the best case scenario, they will come against Bucks in the second round because of their positioning. So that's why it's hard to see. I see Boston taking out the Raptors in the semis, and then Bucks against Philly. Because even if Philly don't get the home advantage over Miami Heat, I could say that Philly is my favourite in that situation. But then when it comes to Bucks versus Philly in the second round, and there's no home advantage in that case, I don't like that situation at all. But we do seem to have a thing where we beat the Bucks when we come against. I don't know what it is. Joel gets in the way of Giannis working how he works, and he's obviously a big presence. I think if there's a team that could take out the Bucks, it might actually be Philly. So you could be right in that case. They might take out the Bucks before even getting to the conference finals. And how does it work in that case? Do they then they don't take the 1st seed, do they? They would still be on the road against then whoever they came against, if it was Raptors or Celtics, because they still have the lower record. So
well, if in the current standings, if Philly will meet the Bucks in the second round. They won't meet Toronto or Boston until the Eastern Conference Finals. So, provided that they get through.
So just from the standings, the Raptors and Celtics have the best chance of getting through to the conference finals.
Correct. So. That's right. Yeah. So, if you're in that 4th, 5th spot, you'll eventually meet the Bucks in the conference semifinals, provided that you get there. And but if you're Toronto and Boston right now, then you won't meet the Bucks until the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm picking the Raptors to make the Eastern Conference Finals. So
you want to bet $20 on that?
I will bet your $20 on it, but not mine. But I'm picking the Raptors again, only because they have that championship now. That that championship changed their landscape. That it just changed. I know you don't agree with me on this, but it just changed how they're playing now. They're playing with this confidence, and
I can see that.
But I don't see him Pascal in Milwaukee now, because Pascal Siakam's not there yet. He's averaging 23 points, 8 rebounds.
He was up at 25 earlier in the season.
It sort of dropped a bit, but he had a great game today actually. But I don't see them going there yet. They need
someone else.
Yeah.
It is a star-driven league where you need there are one or two star players that you have make the biggest difference. Having Kawhi last year put them above everyone, and they've done surprisingly well losing him. But I think it's almost a bit of a facade. They're getting a better record than they probably should have.
That's right.
Which is a weird thing to say because I guess you are what your record is.
Yep.
So it does speak volumes, your record, but when it comes playoff time, I think they may be exposed as a not such a great team compared to. I look at Boston Celtics and think their coach is way better. Well, not way better. Nick Nurse is good, but Brad Stevens is a better coach, I'd argue. And they've got all this young talent that is just clicking on all cylinders. Like they're just
Tatum, Brown.
They're just killing it this year, man. And picking up Kemba was. It didn't seem like they were going to be a better team for losing Kyrie, but Kyrie just didn't attribute much to that team in terms of leadership.
He's a cancer. He's a cancer to the team.
He just was not great.
No,
and now I think they're so much better with Kemba Walker. It's just there's no comparison. He fits into the system that they play with, and everyone's buying into Brad Stevens, and I just think they're a stronger team than Raptors. So yeah, I would love to see Philly make the finals. Like if I was to pick two to make the finals, I'd say Philly. We're gonna stomp the Bucks in the second. I'm gonna pull Daniel and be like, we're gonna win all four. We're gonna gentleman's sweep. As soon as it gets to our home, that is, we'll lose the first two in Milwaukee, and then we'll go home and we'll win those two, and then we'll just keep winning from there. And then we'll get Boston on the other side.
All right. We'll leave it there for the contenders segment. Let us know what you think. Who you think will be in the conference finals for each conference, and eventually the NBA finals. We'd love to hear what you think, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and just let us know.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on to our hip hop segment. Thanks, guys. Hey, guys. Yeah, we'll move on to our hip hop segment, and our rapper that we want to talk about is none other than Kanye West, known as Kanye West. He's one of the greatest influences, artists, personalities of the generation and the hip hop community.
Yeah, of all time.
Not just
the generation, man.
Oh, wow, putting it out there. You just went up like that.
I mean, it's the truth. You can't really deny that, can you?
Yeah, when you talk about what he's tapped into fashion-wise, music, production, whatever it is, he's truly one of the greats. Yeah, you're right. One of the greats.
His influence sort of spreads everywhere, not just in the rap game. So
we for the viewers, we just wanted to talk about Kanye because he's definitely one of our favorite rappers. Grew up in Chicago. You always hear him talk about Chi-Town. Born
just a
June
Chi-Town brother with a nice
exactly. 1977. So when he started off, he was producing beats for Jay-Z. For those that don't know, he actually produced the Black Album, most of the Black Album. He's just one of the best. I can't
what
really
else can you
say it. Yeah. He's just one of the best artists now. He started with College Dropout. College Dropout as his first album, which pretty good album to me. But we just wanted to talk about say his best songs, I suppose. Best songs.
It's a hard one. We struggle to put his best songs into any sort of list because it's just banger after banger after banger after banger.
and the good thing is he has great songs, but he also has great albums as well.
Yeah.
When compare it to someone like Drake, who has great songs but not great albums.
Yeah.
It's not really telling a story.
Song, one great song for every few years. Kanye just seems to have every song is a banger.
Correct.
Just bop to it.
Yeah. We'll top five
Top five.
top five songs off the top of your head. If you can't think, we have a list here, but you can't remember.
I know I could give a top five for sure. I want to say first of all that my favorite album is A Twisted Dark Fantasy. Like,
yep,
I love that album. I could probably say my top five just from from A Twisted Dark Fantasy.
Okay.
Like Dark Fantasy, the song is probably one of my favorite. All the lights, Power, Stronger is good.
Yep.
And I'll probably say I'd have to say either probably wouldn't put Stronger and Power in my top five of all these songs. I'd say probably Jesus Walks is one of them.
College Dropout, yeah, definitely.
And man, yeah, the what's it called? You Can't Tell Me Nothing.
Can't Tell Me Nothing is,
yeah, that's a banger.
It's from the Graduation album, man, and that's such an underrated album from Kanye, because we always hear a lot of people talk about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, College Dropout, but then like you got Graduation, which just pretty much he starts experimenting with a lot of different sort of some of the songs feel like rocky songs. Like Stronger, it's like got that sort of electro feel to it sometimes. You know what I mean? Like
it's weird. Eh? I can see what you mean with that.
Yeah,
it's got They Can't Tell Me Nothing as well. It's pretty.
Yeah,
it's more like hip hoppy than rocky, but it's just he does so many different sounding songs within.
How powerful is the first few lines in Can't Tell Me Nothing? He goes, I had a dream that I could buy my way to heaven, but then I woke up, there was nothing.
It's like I spent that on a necklace.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I woke up and that's right. Yeah, he spent
that on a necklace.
Yeah, and it's just like he's really alluding to how the African American community, they just want to show off their chains and their bling. That's it. And
he's like, I told God I'll be back in a second. Man, it's so hard not to act reckless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's a powerful message in Can't Tell Me Nothing. So that was your top five.
Yeah, I think I like
most
he
of
sort of always alludes to the fact that he does it in Jesus Walks as well, where he struggles with the fame and keeping his faith. I think that's a big theme throughout Kanye. He wants to be faithful and follow what God wants him to do, but then there's this other side where he's making money and he's got the ability to go out and do whatever he wants and buy money, buy chains and do all that. So yeah, what's your favorite five songs? I don't know if I even named five, but I think I named five.
That's a hard one. In no particular order, I'd have to say Dark Fantasy is definitely one of them, because I just love the change up in when the female vocal is singing like, can we get much higher, and it just goes into and it's just that
I
wow,
love it.
okay,
it's a massive switch up the beat,
the switch up is amazing
to the verses.
Can't Tell Me Nothing is definitely, it has to be in my top five. I just love the message it gives. I'd say Saint Pablo in The Life of Pablo. I think that's an extra track, but it talks about his vulnerability throughout the years. You know, it talks about how family has fucked him over. Even he mentions like how his cousin stole his laptop.
Oh yeah.
And his cousin wanted $250,000 for that laptop. So you can see how how his family like would fuck him over, his own family, you know. So that I love that message I love that vulnerability about him, because like we always see Kanye as this arrogant prick, but really he has flaws, he has vulnerabilities, he has imperfections that he needs to correct as well, and in his life. So
he's only human, just like the rest of us. Yeah,
he's only human. So I love that. I love that track. Number 4 would definitely be Jesus Walks. Jesus Walks is definitely, I love that. Again, it's vulnerability. It's showing that like if you're down and out, just have some faith. if you do believe in God and all that. So and I'd say last one. Oh, that's a tough one.
Too many good songs.
I'd say if it okay. A lot of people give me a lot of shit for this, but I'd say N in Paris.
Oh,
yeah, I won't say that. Obviously, I won't say the N word.
That's with Kendrick, isn't it?
No, that's with Jay-Z.
Oh, no, I'm thinking no more parties in LA.
Nah, well, that's a pretty good song, but his collab with Jay-Z in Watch the Throne. So
that's like you hear that in the
Paris.
club. You hear that in the club almost every time, eh?
Like, ball so hard, motherfuckers wanna find me. I just love the whole bouncy vibe. So I don't like that for the lyrics or anything. I just love it because it just gets the crowd hyped.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we all need a little bit of hype. I'd say those are my top 5. All right.
On that note, what you're saying, I like what you're saying with sometimes Kanye, he's not all about the lyrics, he's not the best lyricist to me. I would say J. Cole is one of the best lyricists to me, but when I listen to Kanye, I do not give a shit what the lyrics are. I'm just like, this is a banger. His production is so good. His choruses are so catchy. You don't even... But in saying that, he does have some great lines as well. I like a lot of his lines. Like the line in Stronger where he's like, you should be honoured by my lateness, that I would even show up to this fake shit. Like he's got that air of cockiness about him that you just can't help but love it. Like I remember back in the day, I hated Kanye for that whole reason that I was like, oh, this guy's just so cocky, so up himself. And for years... Tash, you, Johnny, all these people would try to show me songs and be like, as if you don't like Kanye. And I was like, nah, just looking from the media perspective and his antics outside of music, I was like, nah, I won't even give it a bar of thought. And then it was like, I've just seen the light and and I've been blown away by the number of songs that he has that are just absolutely bangers. And I think he gives this sort of feeling of it's okay to love yourself, and that's the thing either people hate about him, the fact that he's cocky, or people love it because it's like it makes you feel good inside. It makes you feel good about yourself. You're like, I should be this cocky.
Exactly. You're right. Like to go on from your point, like I feel like if people just focus solely on his music, don't worry, don't even give thought to his political views or his personal views about life or anything like that, or his imperfections. Just focus on the music and you will find a truly brilliant artist. An
artist that clearly has his ups and his downs, I think.
Of course,
and it's just because he's always in the limelight that you see all the downs. Everyone has their down moments. But it's so much easier to judge him for that because he's always got a camera in his face. And you're right, the music is what we should be appreciating him for, at least.
Well, a few notable exceptions. We could have put any of the songs in our list. I mean, but also tell us what you think. What are your top 5 songs, or top album? Because My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is probably I think it got voted the best hip hop album of the decade, which is like bravo. Bravo.
Rightly so.
But we could have put Runaway is a good song.
I was literally just
All of the Lights,
that.
Power.
I did put All of the Lights in my
okay,
Power,
you did.
bro,
Okay,
both of those.
Even Waves in the Life of Pablo, Ultralight Beam. Wow, the list could go on. Like
we on that ultralight beam.
That vulnerability. Beam. So but on a personal note, I thank Kanye every day. He's definitely my top 5.
Definitely.
Of top 5 hip hop artists of all time.
And what would you say producer would number one?
Number one for sure. Number one, like
he's just
number one.
Every album, like every album that you see that he's either produced or co-produced on, you just know that you're in for good background records. Like the recent Nas album had so many fat beats in the background. He's just got a gift with making bangers. I think he knows exactly what he needs to do.
Exactly.
Every producer should be looking at what he does, and I think they probably do that because he's had such a big influence on the game. But man, if not the music itself, his production value is just always on point, always. So, and I think part of another thing toward like wrapping up is just he's got that cocky attitude and the whole love yourself side of himself, but what you were saying before, he's also flawed, and I think we do tend to look at that too much. But he's also he's got I like the fact that he talks about his bipolar disorder as sort of his superpower. He doesn't use that as a, he speaks up for his disability and he uses it to his advantage. And I think it's great that he talks about that in his music, and he doesn't talk down on that disability. He uses it as his motivation and as his superpower, as he says. So I think he's got some great messages in his music, albeit sometimes a flawed artist, which is most humans are. So
we'll wrap it up there, but thanks guys for tuning in to Off on Tangents again. On behalf of Jake and I, we appreciate your support throughout these podcasts. But let us know what you think of Kanye, because we love to hear your thoughts. Even comment your top five songs.
I know that we're going to be seeing. I know that we're probably going to cop flack for not putting Gold Digger in either of our lists, but I hate that song, bro. I'm sorry, guys. But I will not put that in my top five. It doesn't even appear on my playlist just because it's played every time you go out anywhere. It's just the first song, and everyone's like, It's like, nah. That's one of my least favourite Kanye songs.
Guys, thanks once again. We'll produce more content in the future. So wait out on that. But on behalf of Jake and I, we appreciate your support, and thanks for another podcast.
Thank you very much, guys.